As we gather today, we are entering into the second week of the liturgical year called Ordinary Time. It's the longest part of the liturgical year. It lasts for a total of 33 weeks. And I found it appropriate that as we enter into this second week of Ordinary Time, the passage from St. John's Gospel provides us with a model on how to deal with problems in our ordinary daily life. So let's look at what happened in St. John's Gospel and then how it applies to each and every one of us. There was a wedding in the town of Cana in the region of Galilee. Mary, the mother of Jesus, was invited as a guest, as well as Jesus himself, along with his disciples. Evidently, everybody was having a very good time because in the middle of the reception, they ran out of wine. Disaster. The party was about to be over. How could this happen? Mary, aware of the situation, does not react to the problem. She doesn't say, "I can't believe they didn't buy enough wine for the wedding. I can't believe they invited a lot of heavy drinkers to the reception." Mary did not react, but she responded. She saw the problem, she saw the difficulty, and she simply gave it to Jesus. They have no more wine. In trust that her son would and could do something about it, she simply brought the problem to Jesus. Now, Jesus responds by saying, "It's not my time yet," but that didn't bother Mary, his mother. She told the servants, "Do whatever he tells you." In case you didn't hear it the first time, do whatever he tells you. It's interesting, as Jesus is about to resolve this problem, he uses other people to help and assist him in the process, namely, in this case, the servants. And what does Jesus tell the servants to do? Not something extraordinary, but rather ordinary. See those jars over there? Just fill them up with water, all the way to the brim. And the servants did that. Wasn't hard, wasn't difficult, very simple. And once they were filled to the brim, he said, "Now take some and bring it to the head waiter." And the servants responded to what Jesus asked them to do. And the head waiter drank the wine, and he went, "Whoa." Well, maybe not exactly in those words. But he said, "This is good. This is very good." Usually at a party, you serve the best wine, and then when everybody's had a little bit, you serve them the mediocre wine. But he said to the bridegroom, "You serve the best last." And everyone was filled with joy. Abundant joy. Remember, those are 6 containers holding about 30 gallons of water now made wine. That's 180 gallons of wine, folks. That party went on and on and on. And so as we listen to this beautiful first sign of Jesus revealing himself to his disciples in John's Gospel, we have a marvelous model how you and I can deal with problems that happen in our ordinary lives. Now, sometimes the problem is caused by our own inappropriate choices. But many times, problems just seem to fall upon us, or dumped on us and our family. And unlike Mary, many people, including myself, tend to react to problems. I can't believe it happened to me. If they wouldn't do that, this wouldn't have happened. Looking always to blame and shame somebody. But in today's gospel, Mary tells us how to deal with problems in our ordinary life. Instead of reacting, and reacting is always negative. I've never seen a positive reacting. It's always negative. Mary tells us, instead of reacting, simply bring our problem to Jesus. So simple. Jesus, my life is just messed up. Jesus, our marriage is going downhill. Jesus, I don't understand what the kids are doing anymore. Jesus, I don't know how to respond to my grandchild. We simply bring the problem to Jesus. Notice Mary didn't tell Jesus, now, Jesus, this is the problem, and this is how I want you to fix it. See, that we tend to do that. Okay, I tend to do that. Jesus, here's the problem. This is when I want it done, how I want it done, and let me know when you do it. No. Remember, this is a model. Mary says, simply bring the problem, the difficulty to Jesus in trust. And once we bring the problem, the difficulty to Jesus in trust and in faith, we need to follow what Mary said to the servants. Do whatever he tells you. So many times in people's lives, once they turn a problem over to Jesus, they expect Jesus to fix it just like that and do all the work. But again, today's gospel provides us a model. Jesus needed the servants to cooperate with him in changing the water into wine. When you and I listen to Jesus as we present our problem to him, more than not, he will ask us to help him out. For example, in the marriage that's sort of falling apart, Jesus may say to the couples in the deepest part of their hearts, listen to one another. Respect one another. Cherish one another. Pray with one another. Not extraordinary things when you think about it. Simple things. Communicate. Listen. Pray. And when we do what Jesus tells us to do, once again in faith, joy comes into our life in abundance. Now, some of you might be sitting there saying, well, Father John, not in my case. I brought the problem to Jesus. I tried not to tell him how to do it. I tried to listen to what Jesus wanted me to do, but it was difficult because he wanted me to do it every day, to listen, to communicate, to pray. And see, that's part of our problem. We still want to be in control, and as long as we still want to be in control, we're never going to have the joy that can come about when we turn our problems over to Jesus, listen to his word completely, and then be filled with his joy. So as we continue in our celebration of Mass today, as we enter into this second week of ordinary time, living our ordinary lives, Jesus provides for us a model how to deal with problems. Don't react, respond by simply giving them to the Lord. Do completely and consistently what he asks us to do, and be ready to experience his joy always in abundance.